bunch of nerds sit and ramble about video games.
Jerry was part of your D&D group?
Yeah, he joined my Friday group.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Cool. That's part of the podcast now. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the VidGames Podcast. It's your boy Mark, and with me I have...
Wes.
Yay.
Hello.
Your first podcast episode. This is the first time we've ever done a podcasty thing with you, I think, at all.
Oh, cool.
And Jerry has yet to be on anything of this sort as well, so don't worry, we'll get his ass too. But today, I figured one of the things that we kind of sort of bonded with, we haven't played much of it together, but we've tried. We've had many attempts have been had at recording stuff with different games in the series, but you already saw the thumbnail, so Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah, that game.
What are we talking about again? Because there are a lot of games.
Yeah.
And there were a couple movies, and I think even an animated show or two.
Well, there are definitely a lot more on anime movies and all that shit.
There was the one recently that came out where at the very end, the little WB logo, they had the Ultra Instinct Shaggy. They made it canon. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. So they have a little bumper thing at the end where it's like WB Productions or whatever. And then in a couple of the Scooby-Doo movies or so, or Looney Tunes or whatever, Daffy will come out and just start being all silly and stupid. So for Mortal Kombat, Scorpion pops out of the logo and starts like doing poses and shit. And then Shaggy reaches out and strangles him. And his eyes are all glowing green. And he pulls him back into the logo. And it's... Shaggy's power level. The meme is real now.
Did he have the blue spiky hair?
No.
Oh, well, then he wasn't it. Then wasn't that Ultra Instinct?
It wasn't true Ultra Instinct. Yeah,
it was like he wasn't as full power.
He was only using a fraction of his power, only 0.0001%. But
well, no, he had the glowing green eyes. He was using 0.002% of his power.
Okay, because he went from blue to green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
green is his
like,
color.
It's just more of the golden, like more of the glowing eyes.
Okay. As we all know, red shirt Shaggy is more powerful. To the point where Ed Boon even commented, going back to Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon commented on like, no, we will not be making Ultra Instinct Shaggy a character in the new Mortal Kombat. Stop asking.
Well, shit, he's like, God, he's gonna be too busted.
I mean, hey, if Joker made it in, I don't know for him.
It's just like Liu Kang's just gonna try to bicycle kick him. Shaggy's like, you haven't even seen a fraction of my power, man. And just whack Liu Kang's legs off.
That's what would happen.
Like a little bitch boy.
What would Shaggy's fatality be? Think about, not just for the jokes, think of like the most realistic fatality he could have.
Like, he's gonna throw, like, a bag of Scooby snacks at someone and then sick Scooby on
That would... I can see that happening.
Then Scooby in his ravenous hunger for Scooby snacks just, like...
the mouth with rabies.
Like, just, like, eats more than just the Scooby snacks. He also eats the heart and, like, the head of a combatant.
It's just a skeleton.
And then, like,
with, like flesh
MK11 fatalities end in a freeze frame, so it'd just be like, he finally has the bag of Scooby snacks, but it's in, like, some guy's other mouth, and he chomps down and, like, the head explodes. And then for some reason, there's, like, just an eyeball flying.
Yeah.
Because that's how eyeballs work.
That's how it works. That's what happens in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Eyeballs just pop out, even though they probably should not be.
Anatomy works very strange in Mortal Kombat games, mainly in the newer
Everybody's
ones.
ultra explodey.
Yeah.
See, when you get hit by a car, you just explode everywhere.
Yeah. We're not made of very strong material at all.
But yeah, we're also made out of very strong material because, like, yeah, like, Devora just stabbed me through the abdomen, and it went through my mouth, and I just got back up a second later, ready to swing.
That's called sheer willpower.
Yeah.
That's called determination.
I ain't done yet.
You ain't getting me yet. Okay, so actually, a lead-in question I had for you, actually, because I don't remember your answer to this, but what was the first Mortal Kombat game you ever played?
First one? I want to say...
Because I remember mine. I just want to know yours first.
I think it was Armageddon when I Like
That's
that
not
was
a
the
bad
first
one.
game.
That's not a bad one to start with.
Yeah, I mean that was just like everybody's here. All the characters from all the Mortal Kombat are here.
Yeah.
And then it was fun. Like the campaign mode of that game. You were playing as Taven, which he looks like just like the most blandest fucking character. Some of his brother is like, oh, we need his brother. He's gonna be a little bit older and bald. And look like a generic action movie villain.
Oh,
Your brother's Jason Statham.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, his brother looked like Jason Statham's like, that's right, I'm the fucking trendsetter, mate. It's like, wrong franchise. It's like, oh, I'm here to kick your ass, brother.
Okay.
I'm also the lead of a major criminal organization, also a dragon. It's like, cool.
I mean, that was in the era. That was the era that people usually look down upon. So it's like
Yeah, it's like the 3D era. Nobody likes the 3D era.
Deception, Shaolin Monks.
Shaolin Monks was pretty baller. That was like that wasn't like a traditional like Mortal Kombat game. That was more of like a little bit of an adventure game.
Okay, I don't remember it very much.
Shaolin Monks, that was like one of the games I really got into. I used to play that with my brother all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would be Liu Kang. I make him be Kung Lao, but Kung Lao is so much cooler. He's got the hat.
He's got the hat that he never cuts his hand on. It'd be so easy to just cut your hand on that razor sharp hat.
No, he just knows how to handle it. He knows how to hold it.
That's true.
Just nobody else.
I mean,
knows
that is
how to
true.
hold it.
Yeah. Well, no one else knows how to deal with it.
Well,
Coming
yeah,
at them.
and actually, the hat
frisbee.
is basically a James Bond reference.
Is it now?
Yeah, no, I don't remember. I think it might have been a Sean Connery or a James Bond movie. One of the villain's henchmen. He was like a bald kind of pudgy Asian dude. Okay. So that was like one of the things. Like he would throw his bowler hat, and his bowler hat was bladed, and it like chopped off the head of a statue. It's like that's how we get a character.
And saw that and said, "That's a character in my video game."
That's a character in my video game. That's cool.
Yeah, mine was Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the PS1. So that was just basically Mortal Kombat 3 on the PS1.
Yeah.
But with like bits of 1 and 2 kind of redone and kind of upscaled for that little, it's like a port kind of. So it was tamer for what that's worth. Because I mean, again, Mortal Kombat did start the ESRB. But it was not as detailed as it would later become, especially just with that, transition to 3D. But it was really kick-ass. Like I remember thinking to myself when I saw the movie, the first movie back in the day, that the theme song sounds like, I think it's of all things, it's not the character select, but the options music in Trilogy. It sounds very similar. It's not the same, but it's very similar. So I was like, okay, that's just the natural upbeat kind of jingle to Mortal Kombat jingle, but like I said, little jaunt through the bloody woods. But it was really cool because getting to see that was the most violent game I played back when I was like 5.
Oh yeah.
So like I had Tekken, which is tame by comparison because there's no blood, hardly any blood if any, which there almost never was. There's 99.8% of the time there's no blood. But Mortal Kombat is just like so much more unique in that aspect that like they're allowed to go so crazy with it. So getting that experience as a kid, like I obviously was not one of those kids who was that sheltered to be like, if it was like an R-rated film or something, then yeah, my parents probably wouldn't have shown it to me. But like, if I happened to be around, they wouldn't turn it off, So I wasn't like not allowed to play Mortal Kombat or watch Pokemon or Family Guy, whatever the fuck, right? Like, no, I didn't really have those restrictions.
That's funny. No, because like my parents would be like, "Oh, you're watching Family Guy, turn that shit off." But yeah, like when I was like 5, they were watching the Alien movie, and I was just like, they didn't say anything about that. I'm a well-adjusted human being because of that.
Yeah. No, there were the moments when we would put something on and not know it had like so much like profanity in it, to where we'd be like, okay, this is kind of weird. But at this point in time, like we're so past that now. Like it's just, I mean, a lot of those curse words are part of my regular vocabulary right now, which is sad, but I don't give a fuck. But for Mortal Kombat, I remember I rented a lot of the PS2 like 3D era games, early 3D era. So Deadly Alliance was one I didn't mention yet. That one was pretty cool. Deception, I think, is the one I remember the most. Is that the one? Not that you probably remember, but maybe you might.
Yeah.
Was that the one? There is one of those 3D era games where I don't know why I remember this, but one of Sub-Zero's moves is, I think it's a grab. It's to freeze you and kind of ride you like a surfboard for a minute. Do you remember that?
I think so. That might be Deadly Alliance, or it might be Deception. I think
it's not Armageddon. It's one of those ones.
I think it might be Deception is when he got that. Yeah,
that's how I remember it. I don't know, because I rented it a long time ago.
Yeah, no, like Mortal Kombat had like this really, really bad time when it like entered the 3D era. I remember it. Like I remember like the 3D era was like a weird point in Mortal Kombat's history.
Yeah.
Just because like it was pretty popular, like in the arcades and all that. But once it like kind of switched to the 3D era, it just felt like, you know, like it wasn't like it just felt off. And like kind of going back to the Tekken comparison, if you want to do like a 3D fighting game, Tekken's kind of like the model you want to follow. Pretty much. I think Mortal Kombat tried to do that, but something about it just didn't gel. And you know it was struggling just because of the off-the-wall shit that they did for the sub-games.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Mortal Kombat Deception had chess combat?
Chess? Oh my god.
So you moved the characters in like pieces like chess, and then when you moved it, like you would do like a little round of combat and all that. And that would decide whether your chess won or lost.
That's fucking weird.
And then, you know, the infamous Mortal Kombat Armageddon MK Racing.
I fucking love that. No, that's something I remember when we first rented it, because we own it now. I have it on PS2. When we rented it back in the day, we played that because I was like, what the fuck? And it's the funniest shit.
It's
we had a blast
fucking hilarious.
With that.
It's just like, all right, guys, quick, we need another game mode. Our game's not doing so well.
Fucking Mario Kart.
It's like, everyone just... Add me some fucking Mario Kart to my Mortal Kombat.
I just like the idea that Ebun's playing all these other video games and he's like, I'm putting that in my game. I'm just doing it.
And then the final straw that broke the camel's back.
He had a 3DS. He had a 3DS and he just kicked the door down and said, "Look what I just bought on my 3DS from Nintendo.
Add
Mario
that to
Kart
my
7
franchise. Do it." It's like, sir, we're a fighting game company. We don't know how to program racing games.
You got 1 week.
You got 1 week or you fired.
I just like that he's got a Boston accent for no reason. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying earlier? The last straw for Mortal Kombat.
The last straw is like, what does my Mortal Kombat game need? DC superheroes.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I said Joker earlier.
And then, which actually kind of led to some success for them. Like, what a weird thing to kind of think about.
It
like,
was a learning experience.
It was a learning experience. It's like, all right, so we need a less violent Mortal Kombat. How about Injustice, guys? It's like, yeah.
You can tell that they enjoyed working with the DC side of it for Mortal Kombat vs. DC. It just didn't do well with, I guess, everyone.
Well, because, like, certain things just didn't gel well. It's like, at the end of the day, it was just like...
It was the restrictions.
Fuck, we cannot rip Batman's spine off of his body.
Yeah.
Or we cannot cut Superman in half.
I mean, we can't even shoot anyone on screen.
Yeah.
Some versions censor it. The camera moves out of the...
We can't blast apart Wonder Woman's face because they're not going to like that. Even though if you read the fucking comics...
Oh, some fucked up shit happens in the comics.
Oh, yeah. A lot of fucked up shit happens in the comics. Like, I don't even know, like, how 100% this is. I'm just going to say it anyway.
Okay.
Because a coworker who's really big in the comics told me this. Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman might be a date rapist.
What the fuck?
And then I know this happened, Batman, but Batman did not want all of his kids.
Okay.
And Talia wanted a kid, so Batman got
Yeah.
He got date raped.
Okay.
I can't say it. Like, you can bleep
There's
out
no
you can bleep out the
pretty way to say it.
There's no pretty way to say it. Batman got taken advantage of.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's like the idea of it being Batman. Not even saying Bruce Wayne, just Batman. But no, okay. I do think that there was it was the restrictions that made them go, okay, it's a fun concept, but we have to evolve it somehow, because this clearly didn't fully do it with Mortal Kombat vs. DC. So I think that's what, I'm sure that's what led directly into Injustice 1 and 2. And then somewhere along the way, DC miraculously managed to agree with, like, okay, you can put Joker in a Mortal Kombat game. So, because he makes the most sense, being, as batshit crazy as he is.
He does some pretty messed up stuff. I'm pretty sure somebody would want his head.
Yeah, like, he makes sense,
It's just like, you guys can't kill me. It's like,
yeah, we can.
Yeah. I mean,
you're in our territory.
But you're the good guys. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm still going to punch you to oblivion. I made a terrible mistake. Yep. And then explosion.
And then he explodes, yeah, because everyone in Mortal Kombat explodes.
And that just is a reference to Liu Kang's fatality, where he punches you a bunch and then makes you explode with a 1-inch punch.
I remember that.
So, yeah.
Which one? Was it Mortal Kombat 4? Which one had, like, the most ridiculous, stupid-looking reptile design?
Oh, that's 4.
Was that 4?
No, that's 4 and 5.
And 5? Oh, he kept it for both?
I'm
thinking of a very specific one.
Is it like the super...
The humanoid-looking one.
Oh, humanoid. So not the fully, like, lizard kind of head and tail one? Because that's Deadly Alliance.
No, well, no, because that evolved into, like, the more modern reptile that we got in, like, X and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was cool. I'm talking about that weird one where he looks like a fucking reptilian...
Was he wearing...
White House reptilian, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
oh, yeah,
was typical, like...
Was he wearing purple tights?
I think so.
That's MK4.
That's 4? Okay. I saw that. Because have you ever just, like, been bored one day and been, like, in a Mortal Kombat mood, and then on YouTube just watch, like... evolution of the designs of the characters throughout the games, and you see Reptile and you go, what were they thinking?
It's like, alright, so he's Palette Swap Ninja. Okay, yeah, they're adding a little bit more reptilian design to him. Okay. Why the purple tights? That looks hideous.
Why does he look like the middle part of an Animorphs cover?
And then they get the Deadly Alliance. It's like, why did they go why does he look so ugly?
What are you doing to him?
Okay. Well, he's not in Deadly Alliance because in the story mode he got possessed and he's Onaga in that game.
Okay.
Or Onaga is controlling his body.
I'll tell you right now, I have no idea what the fuck Mortal Kombat story is. I just know it's Earthrealm and was it Outer World or wherever, and then like Outworld, and then they just fucking shit just happens between the two. That's like all I know.
Yeah.
And then time travel got introduced later, and I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, that's like what, and this is like something that most fighting games don't even get right. Is like the story mode is really, really bad. I mean, I guess I can applaud them for like the later games like 9, 10, like 9X and MK11 for trying to make a sensible story mode, but it just doesn't work. Especially when you get into it's like, oh yeah, the whole thing about the conquering Outworld. Oh, I'm not like I've been a secret threat this entire time.
Sure, okay.
I'm bald lady who can control the sands of time.
I like that you're making her sound like a witch. I'm an old lady.
I don't know how her voice is.
I don't know.
I don't take the character seriously.
Clearly. But no, yeah, that got really fucking weird pretty fast. And again, I was already not following the story up to that point. I mean,
like the story in the first couple games was like simple. It was just like, hey, look, there's a massive tournament. Basically, if our realm loses, because we lost 9 times. How did we let that happen?
Womp womp.
So basically, if we lose one more time, Shao Kahn's gonna take over a realm. There's this douchebag called Chang Soon. He's a dickbag. Go kick his ass. Oh, and he also has a four-armed minion guy called Goro. He's pretty cool. He's not a playable character. Yeah.
Just kick him in the dick. That's what Johnny Cage does. Punch him.
Just kick his ass, and yeah. And then Shao Kahn's like, "You guys lost? This is bullshit. I'm gonna take it over anyway."
He says,
or no. That's not what he does. What he does is like, I call bullshit. We're having a rematch.
Time out. Redo.
We're doing this again, but you're going on my turf now, bitch.
Jeez.
And then when they lost the second time, and like after MK2,
okay, clearly someone's cheating.
And like Shao Kahn's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take it anyway, and that's MK3.
He doesn't even fucking care.
He's like,
oh my God.
He's just done with Chang Soon at that point. It's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm taking over.
I don't care.
And then when they kicked Shao Kahn's ass, Shinnok's like, yes, Earth Realm is screwed. Now I will take it over. That's what me and Quan Chi were doing in the background. We were making sure like this shit happens. Like we told Shao Kahn at the end of 2, it's like, hey, you know what? This is kind of bullshit anyway. They're just telling you just take it over anyway. It's like, I'm just gonna fuck it.
I mean, so basically it's all these villains usurping one another. So basically, it is Dragon Ball.
Kinda.
It's just, that's why it's so weird to, like, follow. Because, yeah, other fighting games plots, for what little there are in those series, like Tekken or whatever, it's just tournaments. It's always tournaments. I kind of wish that they kept it as such.
Yeah, like Street Fighter's a little bit weird. It's like, oh, we're Shadowloo. We're a terrorist organization. It's like, all right, some guy in a worn-out geese gonna just come over here and just shoot a fireball at your face. And that's just gonna be the end of your plans. I don't even know what he's doing here. I think he just wants to fight. That's what he aspires to be. He's a homeless fighting man.
But no. Speaking of Tekken, Street Fighter, all those. So going back to how we were talking about the weird era Mortal Kombat went through for a while there. I think it's just because they were very experimental, which is why you say like the batshit crazy ideas and the weird characters, weird redesigns. Like they were just trying to figure out what they wanted to do for the 3D transition. Whereas games like Tekken started out in 3D and managed to just improve more and more with each game. Other franchises like Street Fighter, which also started out in 2D, made a pretty clean transition into 3D. So Mortal Kombat was trying to probably just stay basic.
Street Fighters never went like full 3D. I don't think they've ever had a 3D game. They just.
But I mean, like in that CGI sense, like.
Yeah, they're still 2D, but they've utilized like 3D models.
That's more of what I mean.
That's what more.
It's more flashy in that
Mortal
sense.
Kombat did.
Yeah. Well, no, but there were at least a couple, if not most, of the PS2 era games, that middle era, where they even tried to implement, I think, like sidestepping and stuff like Tekken, right? Didn't they try that at one point? They wanted to make it like almost like an arena fighter.
Which one? Mortal Kombat?
Well, I'm saying, yeah, for Mortal Kombat, I'm saying like there were a couple, like I don't know if Deadly Alliance or I don't know which ones did it, but I want to say that some tried to implement stuff like that to make use of the 3D. They wanted to take advantage of it because, like you were saying, you're right. With Street Fighter...
Oh, yeah, and there is stance switching in MK9 through 11, where you can, like, change your stance, but it's kind of like just...
Sure, but I mean actual sidestepping in 3D space.
No. Well, yeah,
for the middle era.
Yeah, for the middle era, yeah. They definitely tried that.
Because no, you're right. Street Fighter... doesn't go full 3D. It stays on that 2D plane. Mm-hmm. But the graphical transition went from like just pure 2D with sprites to 3D with models. So Mortal Kombat, instead of staying, because that's what I ended up doing later with 9X and 11. But in that middle era, like they wanted to take full advantage of the 3D of it, and it was weird. So. It's just interesting to go back and look at gameplay and or play the games ourselves and be like, yeah, that was strange. That's what we had at the time.
Yeah, no, Mortal Kombat's definitely had a pretty interesting history compared to a lot of other fighting games.
For sure, yeah.
And then, even then, I wouldn't even say, like, those fighting games are, like, as popular as just, like, stuff like Smash. Or, I don't even know if you tried this, the Nickelodeon All-Stars.
Oh, I have it, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually tried that.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. I just wish that game had more of a budget.
Yeah,
because it's a really good game. They put a lot of effort into it. It's just that it doesn't have any budgets or licensing.
You can tell that. Yeah, you can tell like
it's almost like they didn't have faith in it. It's like this could have been a really good like contender for Smash Bros.
I feel like they wanted to get a lot of those technical aspects down because there is wave dashing and like weird shit like that, and the game's pretty fast paced. In terms of like the overall aesthetic and the feel, like the game feel, that's where it kind of falls into like the generic category where Smash has like so much to offer and there's like just personality everywhere for the most part. Games like Nick All-Star or other platform fighters like TMNT Smash Up or Brawlhalla or something, like those ones kind of feel like it's exactly the type of game it should be, but it's not the Smash killer. None of those have ever come close to being the Smash Brothers killer.
Yeah, no, and then just like Smash Bros has just become like really fucking big.
It's super huge, and
I mean, especially with like all the guest stars and all that. I probably will say like, yeah, that was a pretty good choice to have Sora as like the last DLC character.
I like how
just because like I don't have any connection to Kingdom Hearts, but a lot of people do. And it's like
obviously
that just makes a lot of sense. Obviously, because like they got Final Fantasy characters in there. It's like, all right, Sora's
I was gonna say
an easy
like
fit.
The weirdest part about it is when he goes ahead and starts.
The only thing that they could not get is like Mickey Mouse, Donald, and Daffy because like
Daffy.
There's no or.
You know, I would make a joke about that, but people already have online. They were like, what if in an alternate universe, Squeenix teamed up with Warner Brothers, and then we got...
That would be a lot more interesting.
Looney Tunes characters in Kingdom Hearts.
Actually, Looney Tunes characters in Kingdom Hearts would have probably been a lot cooler.
I think it'd be just about as cringe, to be honest. But no. Okay, the thing that...
like, fucking, like, fucking Bugs comes up, say... like, shows up with Sora. It's like, hey.
Got a carrot.
What's up, Sora?
God. No, the one that I keep seeing is Daffy going like, oh no, the Heartless!
It's a lot easier to do a Daffy Duck impression than a Donald Duck impression.
Because you just spit when you say your S's. But, no, the thing that...
I don't even know how he fucking meant... Like, whoever voiced Donald Duck,
the many people who have throughout the years after Mel Blanc.
Is like Mel Blanc, yeah. Mel Blanc's like, what a fucking crazy ass...
What a legend.
What?
Sorry.
What a crazy bastard.
We're gonna just... put Mortal Kombat on pause to say what a fucking legend Mel Blanc is.
Like, shit, I do believe that a duck is talking.
He made me believe.
And this is awful. Kill it.
But no, the weird part about Smash Brothers with Sora that I thought was strange is how they go, Sakurai comes out and says, okay, so I know that we told you a good couple odd years back that Bayonetta won that poll from the last Smash game. It was actually Sora. However, weird shit with Disney, I'm going to assume it's Disney because Square Enix already had Cloud in the last Smash game. So because he didn't say who specifically or what specifically, he just goes, well, due to some like weird licensing issues or whatever, we couldn't bring him in as early as the last Smash game. So we had to kind of wait until now. We figured the last character would be the time to do it. And I'm like, okay, but you clearly showed here that, like, the only real Disney stuff you showed was just the Mickey emblem on the Keyblade.
Yeah, and I think, you know how protective Disney is of its property. That probably would have caused a shitstorm with them just to get that in.
Just 3 circles.
Yeah, just
they don't own 3 circles, but they own 3 circles in that specific order.
Yeah, Disney is fucking... You want to know how crazy fucking Disney is? Because, like, we've had, like... This was back in my college days. We had someone come into the class, and I was like, yeah,
Did they
when
work
you
for
work
Disney?
for Disney, basically anything that you work on, especially stuff on the side, outside of Disney, is owned by Disney.
Is theirs, yeah.
And once you quit, all that stuff becomes property of Disney, not of you.
Yep, man, this fucking...
And they get stored in the vault.
Never to be dealt with again.
Along with all the porn.
Oh, God. That's good.
That's what's in that vault. Just a
bunch of porn.
Among other things.
Of all the Disney princesses.
Along with the severed head of Walt Disney.
Himself.
Waiting just to be reawakened.
Oh my God. I remember people were saying, some reactors who watched the Epic Rap Battles of History with Stan Lee and Jim Henson, how Disney comes in at the end.
Yeah.
But they were like, well... They're like, well, we like what they were going for, that it's Walt, but it shouldn't have been Walt, because Walt was, like, just the creative mind of it. He loved having everything just kind of there, but, like, the corporate aspect of it is, in fact, I mean, shocker, controlled by the corporation, the Disney Inc., you know? So, like, they're the ones that are making... Why Simpsons used to make Disney jokes, now they can't because they're fucking owned by them, you know. Everyone makes fun of, you know, Disney in that sense, but that was never Walt. That was the company.
I think they just did it just because, like, Walt.
It's easy to because he was always the face of it.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just
hell, it's named after him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's easy. But anyway.
I mean, pretty soon I'll own everything.
Yep, those are the jokes.
Soon
they'll own Mortal Kombat.
Soon the Earth will be my Disney World.
Jesus, can you fucking imagine if Mortal Kombat was owned by Disney? What? How?
Just fucking laugh.
How would it
like,
continue to exist?
I can show you the world. Ah! Finish him.
Show him a new world.
It's like... Bah! Oh, come on! I thought this guy's head was supposed to fly off, like...
Can't do that.
It's like...
Punches everywhere.
And then Jasmine's like, oh my god! Oh my god! It was like, shut up, bitch, you're next.
Yeah, I want... Yeah, that's
like,
exactly what
next.
I want. You're next. Oh my god. Oh, jeez.
How much more violent Disney could be.
Have you seen the new movie for Mortal Kombat?
I have not.
I want to. Because speaking of letting Mortal Kombat be violent, you know, on film, this movie actually lets them do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think it's just like a lot of things as of recently. Like, they make a lot of... Like, the reason I'm not interested in it is just because, like, alright, it just tells the story of the first Mortal Kombat game. Basically, the tournament again. Mm-hmm. Because that's what everybody remembers, and it's just like...
It's the easiest part to adapt so it doesn't get too fucking confusing like the games.
But it's like, it's kind of just like, alright, well, this is just nostalgia baiting.
It's iconic. I would say it's iconic Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Yeah, which... I mean, I guess it's fine, but like... Now they rebooted the whole universe. They basically pulled Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Funny thing, because that's a DC reference to Mortal Kombat against, like, alright, our story's becoming too haphazard and just too stupid. How we're going to fix this? Time travel.
Ooh.
And now for Mortal Kombat...
That's not confusing at all.
Now for Mortal Kombat 12, it's the same thing over again.
How'd you react when you saw the reveal of 11?
It looked pretty cool.
I remember the reveal for X is what made you go, oh! Because we were editing something, or I was doing something for, I think, Trash Talk, and then, or I was watching, was it E3? I was watching E3 or something or other, and it happens, and you happen to have called me, either that or I called you, and I was like, Wes, and you're like, yeah. Did you know there's no Mortal Kombat coming out? And there was just like 10 seconds of silence, and you're like, you're fucking joking. Stop bullshitting. I'm like, no, there's a trailer right now. And you go, hold on. And then I just hear you, and you're just on your phone. And then you're like, okay, I'm looking. And I'm like, Wes? And you're like, I'll call you back.
Oh,
and then I waited for like maybe 2 minutes, and then I pick up the phone again. Hi. And I'm just like, yep, he's into it. He's hyped.
Yeah, no, I was definitely, yeah, no, MKX was a really fun game. I still enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, but, yeah, no, I'm not as excited for Mortal Kombat as I once was. I think it's just kind of just, like, a lot of my favorite characters are just not in the game anymore, and then, like...
Yeah,
I don't know, like,
I understand
there's, like, some potential with, like, some... But, like, really, it's just, like... We can have a little bit more interesting things going on with the characters, and then plus with, like, microtransactions and, like, MK11's crypt. And it's like,
that's
why? Right. Why did you fucking do this?
They've never, like, tried to find a way to just overhaul the fuck out of that via patch, huh? It's still the same?
I know. I think they made it less bullshitty.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't really play Mortal Kombat 11 after a certain point. Like, that game had, like, a pretty quick turnaround, and, like, the story was just like, okay, that's a little bit silly.
Man, I kind of wish you went to E3 that year. That was 2019, because they had a whole booth set up and everything, and I don't know if I sent it to you. I'm sure I did. Where there was a for the visual people watching the screen with the stripes. I'll put up a thing right now of when I went to E3. There was a thing you could do where it was like a little green screen booth, and they set you up with props, and you had to just do like a Mortal Kombat pose, and then they would quick edit right then and there a little like GIF of you like you're ripping a head off or you're doing something, and they put like blood stains on you. So I have one that then it says Destination Mark wins, and I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. So
wonder if they just
and then they'll show that on the screens for people who pass by. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that would have been cool if they like shortened it to like D-Mark.
I mean, I wrote down my names. Oh. I didn't tell it to them. But
there's gotta be someone that went like Penis Envy wins.
I don't know if they would have allowed that, but you would think. Yeah, no. So I guess.
Or better yet, erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction. That's a bad pun, anyway.
Hey, just get out of here, dude.
Okay. The door's over there.
No, I'm serious. Get out of here.
No, this is my house.
Fine, I'll leave.
No, I need you to come back. That's very convincing. It's a convincing I'm leaving the room sound. My room isn't a long corridor, dude.
It'd be so much cooler if it was.
Yeah, with the weird time travel aspect in it now, like, I wonder if it's just going down another weird direction again, because we don't know if they're gonna do another. Probably they will, but
well, yeah, most definitely. It would be stupid for them not to do another game.
Because, I mean, there's yet to be a PS5 like made Mortal Kombat game, because Mortal Kombat 11 is on both 4 and 5 along with other consoles, but for Series X, PS5, like, to have like a new Mortal Kombat for the current gen consoles, like, we don't have that, obviously. So whether it's gonna be called 12 or something else, I don't know, but or if they'll try to do another subtitle again, so Deadly Alliance, Shaolin Monks. So I don't know if they're gonna do anything like that or what, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, no, it's like this is like the second time they've done like a universe reset for MK. Because like the end of the first iteration of Mortal Kombat was Armageddon. Because it was like just building up, like, all right, well, shit. It's gotten to the point where everybody's just a bloodthirsty cycle, so gotta kill everybody. And Taven, generic man.
The return of him.
You will lead this new world, and then MK9's like, actually, no, you got killed off by Shao Kahn. Even though Shao Kahn got lifted up by Nobunaga during that sequence, and just got taken away, it's just like, no, Nobunaga just like he just whacked him with the hammer, ran back, and then just beat the shit out of everybody there. And it's like, haha, Raiden, I win. It's like, he must win. It's like, yeah, I know. I'm already winning. That's not what I meant.
That's what I meant, Cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, Raiden's a fucking dumbass.
Raiden's weird now because then he goes like what, evil? I think for a game. Like, what was the deal with
like
that?
evil Raiden was kind of like it was kind of in the old universe too.
How'd that happen?
He kind of like you did like a thing where he was fighting the Deadly Alliance. He became evil Raiden after after Mortal Kombat Deception.
Okay.
And basically like he was fighting basically like they were fighting the Deadly Alliance of Quan Chi and Chang Sun, but they were too powerful and they ended up killing a lot of people. So Raiden's like, all right, I'm gonna mess with these jabronis myself because Liu Kang and Shao Kahn, they're not around because they're dead.
Yeah.
Because they killed them. Because these two guys working together killed them. And then Onaga came back. Well, because like the reason why they were working together was to resurrect Onaga's army, which was pretty powerful. And then Onaga, having the body of Reptile, was like, "Hey, I'm back, bitches. I'm here to reclaim my army. Get the fuck out." And like Raiden, and then a new Deadly Alliance was formed with like Raiden just joining in. It's like, yeah, let's stop Onaga. And then all three of them ended up dying, and Onaga was just like, "You guys are lame as fuck. That didn't even do anything."
He wipes it off.
Like, it really wasn't doing anything. Like, he got, like, pushed back, and he's like, "I'm just gonna fucking walk through this lightning and green and this fire and whatever this green shit is."
This green.
And this green.
I don't know what it is, but it's not hurting me.
It's like, none of this shit's hurting me. I'm a fucking Dragon King.
Oh,
And all because, like, Shijinku, the main character of Deception, was like, "Hey, man, you're doing great. You're gonna be like Liu Kang. You just gotta get these things." So it's like, and like Shijinko's like, "Okay." What? Getting all these things? Resurrected the Dragon King? He's like, "Yeah, I was fooling you the whole time, dickass." Dickass. It's like, oh man, how did I get hoodwinked like that? And that's why Shijinku's not a cool character. Because, like, the whole point of his story is, like, he fucked up. It's like, oh, no, I fucked up.
The whole point of his story, he's a failure.
He fucked up
He's
and resurrected. Yeah, he's a gullible motherfucker. It was like, so if I collect all 6 of these things, I'll be as powerful as Liu Kang. He's like, yeah, pretty much.
Sure.
Like, yeah, man. Go and do it.
Yeah, whatever.
You're the chosen one. It's like, I thought I was the chosen one. You were. You helped me come back to life.
I chose you.
I chose you because you're an idiot. Thank you.
But,
Anyway, I'm going to go conquer the world now.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
fuck.
I'm going to stop you, maybe? No. Oh.
A light stab. He became old?
Yeah, he became old.
What? Because of the stab? No.
No.
I'm gonna age you up now, so you're too weak to
he
stop
started off
me.
as a young man.
Okay.
Who was trained by Baraicho.
All right. The best teacher.
Yeah,
obviously.
he trained Liu Kang. How bad could he be?
I didn't even know that. I actually didn't know that. What the
No,
fuck?
yeah, he trained Liu Kang.
Okay.
Yeah, that fat slob whose name is literally Borracho.
Yeah.
Which is
Spanish for drunk.
Yeah.
Because you told me that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Somehow, me being Mexican, I didn't know that.
But they just, like, how do we make this sound more Asian? Borracho.
Yeah.
Oh, what a stupid character.
They brought him back in, what was it, X, I think?
Yeah, they brought him back in X, and yeah, he has the throw-up move. And, like, the sumo shit, it's like...
Just as silly as you remember
I
him.
think Borracho was okay not being a playable character.
Yeah, I think you made a good decision to,
I mean, you made him less silly. Like, he doesn't fart and burn you alive with his farts. Like he did in Deadly Alliance or Deception, but, what would have been better is just not doing that.
Anyone that wasn't him.
Anybody
could have brought
else.
anyone back.
And, like, just Mortal Kombat had, like, a lot of, like, these filler characters. I mean, a lot of fighting games have, like, filling characters.
Oh, sure.
Have, like, just, like, just filler characters.
Here's
like
this guy. Here's
oh,
like a
like,
slightly different version of that guy.
Like, I don't know, Tekken's really had that problem. Street Fighter has had that problem.
I know there was a Street Fighter game I played where there was a slot that said, I think the guy's name was Ace. It was Street Fighter EX3, and it was like, here's Ace. Here's Ace, but left-handed or some shit. And it's like the same thing. The exact same guy. They wasted a slot, and I'm like,
yeah.
What? As a kid, I couldn't comprehend it. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
what
like Street Fighter 4, for example, is like you had some like really weird filler characters that were fun, like Hakan. Basically, imagine a Turkish man with weird blue alien hair. That's whole point of fighting was that he was just greased up with oil and he grappled you and kind of spun you around like an asteroid because he was just oiled up. That was a fun character.
Okay.
And then you had like a blonde like martial artist called Abel.
All right.
He was just there to fill up a slot.
What game was that?
That was Street Fighter 4.
Oh, okay.
So like Street Fighters had some like really filler characters, but like some of them were really fun. And actually, I'm trying to remember her name.
I'm thinking of one character from
like
Mortal Kombat.
June, or it's a Street Fighter 4 character. I'm trying to remember her name.
Do you have a description of her?
She kind of has like the spider motif.
Oh, Jury.
Yeah. I don't know why I was like, Jury was kind of like a filler character in that game.
Oh no, she ended up becoming like a major character later.
Yeah, but then people like. Yeah, she turned out to be pretty fucking cool, and I was like, yeah. Like, actually, Jury, you're not a filler character. You're moving up to main character status.
She's iconic for just being fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's fucking nuts.
She's awesome. But
Mortal Kombat is like the king of just having the
like,
most filler characters.
Who is this character and why? Like Mortal Kombat is
like
infamous for that.
Like
it's a side of Mortal Kombat's infamous.
Oh,
for
like
that.
fucking Darius, like the blade looking ass motherfucker.
I'm thinking
is like, why are you here? What do you do?
I'm thinking of motherfuckers like Meat.
Well, Meat was like a secret character,
but it's like
a lot of Mortal Kombat's cooler characters. Mm-hmm. Like Reptile, which were like completely optional, just start off as like fucking secret characters.
No, that's the cool part about it. No.
That's the cool part. Like a lot of them are just like very secret characters. Like, oh, did you hear about this character called Ermac? I fought him. Like, no, I didn't. And that was just kind of like something that's like, all right, we're hearing a lot of like that's just the arrow macro.
Yeah.
Error, but you know what?
Yeah.
I like that idea. Let's make that a character.
Well,
and so, like, Mortal Kombat has, like, some of, like, the most simple but yet really cool-ass stories for, like, some of their characters.
For sure. No, I remember a lot of them, because we've even talked about them.
But then you got, like, characters like fucking Cobra.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, he looks like Ken.
Oh,
I think it was, like, a dig at Street Fighter.
It sounds like it.
Like,
okay, not like,
about it. That's also not, like... You know how, like, fucking rappers in the 90s had, like, diss tracks? Like, fighting game creators also would diss each other by like having like a character that sucks in their games.
And it's like a parody because
it's like a parody. That's how Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter became a character. He was a dig at King of Fighters, because like King of Fighters apparently stole assets from Capcom from Street Fighter. And it's like, oh yeah, well your main character. He's wearing a pinky. He's called Dan, and he sucks.
Oh boy.
I'm thinking it's like Cobra has to be like a dig at Street Fighter. Did they have beef with each other? Because if you wanted to make that character suck, I mean, he succeeded. And then there's like other characters in that game, like I'm trying to remember them all.
I've got one silly one that I remember that you
right.
told me about, and I was like.
Okay.
What? And then you showed them to me, and I was like, so you came over, I think, one day, and you're like, so this is mocap?
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Okay, mocap is kind of like a little bit of a funny story. He's based off of, like, the longest, like, the mocap artist, like, that has been with NetherRealm back in the day, Midway.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and so to honor him. because I think he was retiring, or just to honor him in general, they made him a character.
It's so funny, though.
It's just like, too bad they kind of made his character kind of sucky.
Yeah, it's like...
It's like, come on, you could have made his character a little bit cooler.
No, I was going to say, like, how you were saying how Ermac came about and stuff like that. Like, I kind of wish that they kept that up, because I don't know how frequently they did keep it up, to the point where those characters became more famous than infamous for just being fucking weird. But, like, I feel like that quality was somewhat lost when you have characters like Mocap or Meat. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and then, like, the way they kind of came up with characters in, like, later iterations of the game. Like, you have, they're not as cool as, like, Cassie Cage. Well, let's just add Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage moveset together. You got Cassie.
Well, no, because they're doing that thing, too. That's another trope.
Yeah, they're doing, like, the legacy.
Yeah.
Which, and then you have, like, other characters like Cetrion.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, yeah, why? It was like, they make the joke about her name. It's like, sounds like a goddamn insurance company. It's like, it kind of does. Like, why did you name your character that? They didn't, like, I don't know, Cetrion's kind of cool, but it's just like, at the same time, it's like, alright, well, I don't really care for her character. Or, something like Kotal Khan, for example. Like, Kotal Khan had a really cool design.
Oh, yeah.
They wasted it on a really shitty character, though.
I mean...
And both gameplay-wise, because, like, he's fucking slow in MK11. Like, he's one of the, like, the slowest characters in the game.
That's true, yeah.
And he's not very viable. And then story-wise, in the fucking DLC expansion for, like, the story, I remember just seeing it. I didn't pay for it. I just watched on YouTube because I was bored.
Yeah.
Like, Shao Kahn and them just, like, he doesn't even get a fight. They just, like the only time you see him is, like, his head flying off, like, onto the ground, like, and I was like, alright, well, shit, way to kill off that character who looks really cool, but you did nothing with.
You didn't give him shit to do.
You made him feel, like, emasculated by other characters.
Made him feel emasculated. Made him look like Ogre from Tekken.
yeah, kind of. But, like, you know, like, I would get it, like, for Shao Kahn, because Shao Kahn's supposed to be, like shit, he's, like, one of the original, like, overarching bad guys. Like, he's supposed to be fucking strong.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. But it's like, alright, how did the Katana, out of all people, who has, like, one of the worst records in, like, her win-loss ratio in fights, be like, I got the win against Shao Kahn! I did it! I'm now the new Khan! It was like, no. No, it did not. No, you did not.
You're like, I don't accept this.
And then you let that fucker live? It's like, just put him in the... It's like, this is a Mortal Kombat game. Just kill him.
I can see you there.
That's usually your MO. In fact, you do it so often that you find creative ways of doing it. You're so bored of killing.
Your fans.
And it's like, you don't just like, alright, we're going to cut off his head, be efficient. No, if you're like really that bored, you're just like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to span, and then all their guts are going to be flying out, so you're like, oh.
I'll take their intestines and trill them like a ribbon.
And then I'm going to do a cool pose at the end for nobody in particular, just for the fourth wall.
The camera that's not there.
It's going to be great.
Oh my god. Mortal Kombat's weird.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, it's gotten... It hasn't gotten, like, it's gotten stupid, but not stupid in, like, the funnest way possible.
Not stale.
Not, like, stale. It's just, like, it's kind of that, too. It's just, like, alright. Well, now you're just being very gratuitous with it.
I think, too, how you were saying before...
Because, like, the original, like, shock value was like, yeah, you just ripped a guy's head off, and, like, back in that time, it's like, you never seen that in a video game. It's like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Or at least not
his fucking head?
Not that creatively executed.
With the spine? And now they kind of just went over the top. It's like, alright, and I'm gonna rip a hole through you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna chop off your arms and then like just blow you off, and it's gonna be in a cool freeze frame. It's just like...
It's like the formula at this point.
It's just like the formula, and they just try to top it off, and it's like... Mortal Kombat's not even that violent of a game anymore. Compared to like a lot of other games. There's other games out there that are extremely violent and just gory as fuck. Because it's like, I mean, like, one game that has been updated really, really well, that has been updated to the modern times, that I could compare Mortal Kombat to, is, like, Doom.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because, like, they updated the soundtrack. The game, like, that's a first-person shooter that is just... Oh my god, that fucking game is fun to game. That game is fun to play. Because, like, once you get into the groove of just, like, smashing demons... It just like, and the music's playing, it's just like, oh my god, I feel amazing! Because you're just like fucking smashing the demons, and it's like, alright, I need help. Come here! Just smash the demon's head over your knee, and it's like, alright, bam, bam, bam! Alright, I need ammo! Chainsaw this fucker, yeah!
I mean, I feel
and it's a super satisfying game loop, and like the story isn't complete shit either.
Well, I would imagine there's not much of a story.
There's not much. It's like, oh no, demons are invading hell. It's like,
because it's gameplay driven.
Cool.
Here's the problem: there aren't as many Doom games as there are Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
And at the same time that they've got a formula going on now, they still don't want to really be a one-trick pony and just wow you with the fatalities as if it's keys dangling in front of your face. They want to try and innovate. They want to try and do more things. They want to put more emphasis on the story. So I wanted to say this before when we were talking about plot, that the earlier games' stories, quote-unquote, felt more like just plots that kind of loosely tied into one another for the most part. Maybe they did directly for a couple sequels if there were any like within the middle era. But then like in the new ones, it's cinematic now. So, like, they're really trying to push that angle.
That's where you kind of get the issue.
Yeah.
Of just, like, it's a fighting game.
Well, and
it's like, as hard as you want to try to make it cinematic, it's a fighting game.
It's a fighting game.
And that's never been a fighting game's strength. Exactly. It's actually been one of its glaring weaknesses of that genre, is, like, it's like, why are all the characters here? Tournament.
Yeah, here's why.
Oh, what does the bad guy want?
That's right.
World domination. Via tournament.
That sounds like a dartboard, a dart throwing game. So what do they want? That's what it is. Like.
Why are they in South America? Ancient Evil.
Well, here's the cool thing though about the more arcade-like fighting games, which again are pretty much all these franchises from back in the day. What made it work when you try to introduce plot, again, massive air quotes, is that, like, they were always so simple, so funny, over the top, and you never took it seriously. Mm-hmm. So, and they were sparse. I almost said sparse.
Well, like the old way of doing, and then like another thing about making a game like cinematic, like Mortal Kombat, is like not every character has like
motivation
equal in importance to the story, and it's like sometimes they're just to be there, or they don't have anything to do. So like the old ways that fighting games could do like a story mode is like doing a character story mode. You follow a character's journey.
Yeah.
If you want to play that character, you are invested in that character. You want to follow their story, and so that's where like the ladder comes in. Like these are all the fights that they're a part of, and it's kind of like build your own adventure and all that. And that's the type of story that fighting games are really good at, because like you're invested in your main character that you love to play.
That's called arcade mode.
Yeah, that's basically.
Don't change that. But fighting games are starting to change that now, because not even Tekken 7 has like a dedicated arcade mode for your fighters the way literally every other Tekken did. Like, you get character endings a whole different way now, and it's like weird. But Tekken's known for its character endings because they're so silly. You never take them seriously. Yeah. Some of them get kind of like, whoa, but like those are the ones that kind of move the plots forward. Again, air quotes, but like Mortal Kombat is trying to go that more like modern game, we're telling a story route. And they're doing it with the most like fucking fragile plot ever, which is time travel. Like,
yeah,
topic for a plot.
Time travel just does not work. Even like the movies that do it well, it's hard to account for that.
Exactly. You'll always find glaring contradictions
you're just gonna,
and paradoxes.
yeah, you're gonna find contradictions and you're gonna find a way of fucking it up.
Yeah.
Dimensions are a little bit easier to do because
that's definitely the in thing right now. Dimension hopping, multiverse.
No, dimension hopping because
multiverse.
That's like time travel, but easier to explain. It's like, oh, you're just me from a different universe and you made these choices.
Yeah.
I made different choices.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, we're slightly different. All right, cool.
I mean, that was almost Mortal Kombat versus DC, but it's not an alternate universe. It's just here's one universe with characters. Here's another universe with characters.
Mortal Kombat 11 wanted to be a little bit more successful. Maybe instead of messing with time, it's like, oh, I've restarted this several 100,000 times. It's more like, no, I've done this in multiple dimensions, and this is the dimension that is closest to what I want to happen.
I mean, how much you want to bet that 12, or if that's what it's going to be called, like, we'll have
it's going to deal with dimensions, like, but no, you already established that you can manipulate time.
I don't know.
And just the fact that manipulating time is just of a really fucking busted ability.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just like...
Especially when you don't have any preset rules for that shit, like...
Yeah, if you don't have any preset rules or anything like that, like, even when you do, like, time manipulation is usually, like, one of the most powerful things you could do.
Yeah.
In any sort of media.
Yeah.
Like in certain stories, like, sometimes the main bad guy is a person that can manipulate time in some way. Because that shit is busted. And it's like, I can weave causality to make it do whatever the fuck I want. Son.
Mic drop. You have lasers that come out of your eyes? Cool. I'll just rewind that shit like a VHS tape.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the point where you were like a little bebe.
Bebe.
And kill you.
Well, that just reminds me of Endgame when he's like, why don't we just go back to baby Thanos and just wraps the wire around and goes...
Well, because you don't know how much you would have changed in that point.
Well, at that point, that's a paradox, because if you go back and kill them...
No, and then even in Endgame, it's just like, they didn't really go back in time. They went through a different dimension.
Sort of, yeah. They went to the quantum realm.
Yeah, quantum. So they went back in time.
Because what happened was when Scott Lang went through it at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, he didn't come back because they all got dusted from the Thanos snap. So when the rat sets the van or whatever it was to spit him back out, it was 5 years later. So he was stuck in there. And again, they don't really explain that part of it, but like that's what they use.
But yeah, but like it's kind of more like a mix between the two. Like they're going back in time, but not like anything they do in that time period
doesn't affect anything. So it's technically a different dimension as well, I suppose.
Or it's kind of like, all right, we're doing this, we're going to an alternate dimension that's pretty close to ours.
Because it's
maybe
weird.
Like minor differences or something, or it's the exact same, but it's just back in a different time.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that's like weird. Like that's just weird shit that you really cannot comprehend.
But also with the new Mortal Kombat's from a gameplay perspective, like how you're talking about Doom and everything, and how Mortal Kombat is not by any means the most like goriest game out there now. But they can't really just rely on even the violence either. The fatalities, the general violence of it.
I think that's the main issue with MK11. They're just relying on like, all right, now it's like ultra violent. These fatalities are shocking now, but it's just like, okay, Mortal Kombat, we get it. It's like, but like
it was the thing that made them popular.
It's the thing that made them popular, but
it felt satisfying to pull off back in the day.
Yeah, because like all the codes were secret.
Yeah.
And that was just like a little bit more of the appeal of
now you press the shoulder button to do an easy version.
Or you can just pay for it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can pay for fatalities.
Oh my god.
I think in both X and 11.
Yeah.
And then they have to get, like, movie tie-in characters and all that.
That's what they're starting to bank on right now. Those guest characters, ooh boy.
Yeah,
there are a lot of them.
Pretty cool, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like, when you have to rely on, like, movie tie-ins.
To want to keep playing.
Yeah, to maintain, like, alright.
Because what was the last one?
Cool. I mean, I don't see, well, Tekken kind of did it.
Or?
RoboCop was one. That made sense. Like, they
Terminator, RoboCop, Rambo.
There is a really strong bent for Mortal Kombat is like, alright, we're gonna pick up characters that were really, really strong, that were really, really popular in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
80s and 90s media, because, you know, that's when Mortal Kombat was popular.
Yeah. So like, it makes sense. But
so it makes sense for, like, guest characters. I mean, they have a better pick of the lot than what Tekken did with, like, Negan.
The thing is that Tekken should never have done that shit in the first place, because it never did it before.
The
only time it ever did it was an obscure as fuck, who's still not known to this day, anime character called Gon. He's this little orange from Tekken 3. Tekken 3. That's the only time. That's meant
to be a joke. No, and the reason...
only time until now that they've done that.
No, and then Mortal Kombat has had better guest characters, just because, like, all right.
Like when Freddy Krueger came out, people were like, oh my god.
Freddy Krueger is like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a horror movie icon.
Yeah.
And you've seen him do some really fucked up shit to some people. And we've also watched him get ripped apart and shit. All right.
Makes sense.
Freddy's cool. Predator? Oh, fuck yeah.
Jason? Okay.
Like, Jason? He's another horror movie slasher villain. That makes sense.
They went through them first and then started going for, like, the action movie stars.
Yeah, action movie, because they've done some fucked up shit. And they're fighters.
Yeah.
They know how to fight.
Yeah.
Tekken went with Negan?
Tekken went with Negan? They went with that...
Negan...
Some motherfucker from, like, Final Fantasy, like, 14 or 15 or some shit. And I was like, what? Like...
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, it was weird. Is it Noctis or some shit, I think his name is? I don't even remember.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's weird.
I do know
He's
that.
just some anime pretty boy. Who fucking cares?
Anime pretty
it's
boy
some Smash Brothers shit. Who cares?
It's like, okay, that's a weird choice for you, Tekken.
It's weird.
Because your game is all about, like, people that know how to fight, but, like, actual, like, you know, martial arts styles.
Yeah.
Negan doesn't
just
fit.
hits motherfuckers with a baseball bat.
He doesn't fit because he's from The Walking Dead.
He would have fit better in Mortal Kombat.
Not really, because, like, Negan's not really a fighter. He's more, like, he uses intimidation tactics and, like... I don't think he, like, if he was actually fighting, like, a Tekken character or a Mortal Kombat character... Negan can't do shit.
Yeah.
He's a mortal guy with a baseball bat that deals with zombies and, like, very weak people that he knows that, like, he can intimidate.
I think it's just the violence aspect about it is why they chose
it's like,
him.
And,
but again,
like, he's violent. But, like...
That makes more sense for Mortal Kombat, though, not Tekken.
But, like...
see, Tekken's
Jin Kazama's not going to be fucking afraid of your baseball bat, dude, or your leather jacket. He's just gonna punch you in the balls and then just fucking beat your ass.
I mean, he can become a devil, so...
Plus, yeah, he become a fucking devil, man.
But,
there's... What fucking... And then I like, fucking saw the trailer for Negan's like, this does not work.
it was very strange.
And it was like, unless they're going for comedy, which Tekken's known for doing.
Sometimes, you know... Well,
and, like,
again,
Paul's was like, not me. No. It's like,
Paul.
But Paul can kick your ass, dude. Paul's a little bit of a serial, like a little bit less of a comedy relief character, but he's still a fighter. He can still kick your ass.
No, Tekken's first in 7 anyway. That game's first guest character, who's part of the main roster, mind you. I think like again, it kind of ties into Mortal Kombat with the whole Joker's in 11 because. Sorry for Mortal Kombat vs. DC. I think Namco tried to say sorry for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and Akuma is in Tekken 7.
Yeah, but Akuma makes sense.
But it made sense. Akuma
knows how to fight. It's just that Akuma really likes to kill people too when he fights. It's just like Akuma's not gonna do like a friendly spar. It's like every match for him is a death match.
Or how about
and your ass is gonna get flatlined.
How about what's his name from The Witcher? who's in Soul Calibur 6.
That makes sense.
What's his fucking name?
That's Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
That makes sense though, because
I suppose
he's a weapon user and he uses magic. Soul Calibur, that makes sense for him to be in there.
It was just weird because it's like, you know him from such and such, so The Witcher, so
it's
here
not
he is.
as weird as like fucking Yoda and Darth Vader from Star Wars and Soul Calibur 3. In which case,
that was 4.
Whoever,
but yeah.
Oh, or 4. I don't care. Just Yoda's bullshit.
Fucking whatever. Yeah.
Yoda's fucking bullshit.
That's fucking funny.
Anybody that played Yoda competitively.
That was 360. I don't have that version. I have the one with Darth Vader.
Then again, like, Soul Calibur wasn't really popular for its roster. It was just more popular because...
It was known... No, for a time it was known for its...
character creator.
Well, no, but also its guest characters. It did have guest characters starting with 2.
It did have guest characters, but then, like, Soul Calibur 5 just became a game all about people's crazy-ass character creations.
No, 6 goes fucking hard with that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to say 6. My bad.
Well, 5 also had it too. 4 and 5. And 3, actually. 3 had it too.
Yeah. But, like, 6 went, like...
6 went hard with that shit.
They went, like, out of control with that. And there was no filter. You're gonna fight, either a big-hatted Doug Dimmadome or some horseman with a giant cock.
Oh, boy.
Who's playing Volo because... You're going for that. Volo's gonna be the person that you model the character after because Volo does.
By the way,
shit.
he's Wes is describing a character he made in, I think it was like 5 or something. You made that character.
I didn't make the horse cock one.
But you give him a horse head and you put him in nothing but like a Speedo or something.
Yeah, I didn't make
that's
that.
That's what I'm referring to. I know you gave him Voldo's thing. His moveset.
Yeah, no, because Voldo is fucking
weird.
Like, he's oddly sexual in his fighting mechanics.
Do you know that he's a mortal 60-year-old man from Italy? Kind of like, puts that in a weirder perspective than it already was before.
Kinky.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway. Wes is into that shit, apparently.
So, I said kinky.
No, but with Mortal Kombat, going back to that, I feel like it started a movement in how you could stretch out violence in video games, but now it's just kind of gotten lost in that exact movement because everyone else is doing it now.
Yeah, and
it's like... Arguably, maybe in some areas even better, so... It's like, what else does it have left to bank on to keep people coming back besides its name and the move you can do in it to keep people back for like a new game? That's kind of the question right now, I think. Because like it'll still be a cool game if they do a 12th game or whatever.
Well, like honestly, it's just like what brings people back to Street Fighter, and what brings people back to Tekken, and this is probably something that Mortal Kombat just doesn't really have, is like people talk about it all the time with a lot of other fighting games, like, but the animation is what sells it.
Yeah. And
Street Fighter has had pretty good animations throughout their games.
Yeah.
Like there's that follow through. Mortal Kombat does not have that.
No.
Like there are videos.
It's just hit its stride like 2 games ago. It just barely.
Yeah, no, but still, like it's a AAA game, and they've also been doing Injustice as well.
Yeah.
The animations are not good in those games. There are many videos that I've seen online from animators and all that explain, like, all right, this is why Mortal Kombat is really, really bad at conveying follow through and movement of their characters, and this is something that they need to work on if they want to compete with like games like Street Fighter and Tekken, which have those.
Yeah.
Because there's like a follow through. It's like character lifts up their leg, they move their body to adjust for that leg going up. Mortal Kombat doesn't do that. Or they'll get like they'll like Mortal Kombat. We've done this like just like.
Yeah, just swing.
Where like
at
it's
the
just
air.
like, and the character's so stiff except for their arm moving. That's called in animation. The animation world, that's called fence punching.
Mm-hmm.
Fence punching. I cannot talk today.
Fence punching. I mean, again, it's down, yes, to the very fact that Mortal Kombat as a series, after the games that got it popular, just kind of had something of an identity crisis. So it tried to do the movements of Tekken, which is the more realistic kind of animations with its characters.
It's like a lot of problems with Mortal Kombat. I think more than any of the other fighting games, like Tekken and all that, like Mortal Kombat is really focused on nostalgia baiting.
Yes.
And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing.
The most of that I see nowadays is they try to keep selling you on, like, here's the classic skin for Scorpion. Here's the classic skin for Sub-Zero.
All right.
Here's...
Sure, but...
The plot of the first game kind of remixed coming back a little bit.
It's like... but it's a little bit boring.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I mean, yeah, no. You had some great characters. Just like, oh, how do we come up with this ninja? Make him green.
Yeah, I mean...
But that's... Like, I think that's just kind of, like, part of Mortal Kombat's identity. Is, like, there was a little bit of that laziness in character design. When they came up with new characters. Is like...
Well, they had a creative way of recycling. That was the thing.
But they made it to where, like, it was kind of cool. It's like... Yeah. When, like, Reptile... Like, you had to, like, look it up. It's like, oh my god, wait. That's not Sub-Zero. Or Scorpion, his key is green.
Well, it's like
that?
It's like the key jangling thing. It's like we're obsessed with colors and simplicity at the forefront. So if you're playing this game when you're like 12 in like 90, whenever the fuck it came out, and you see a yellow ninja and a blue ninja, and they're fighting and ripping each other's heads off and throwing things at each other, and then all of a sudden you happen to just be perfect on one level, and then a fucking message appears, and then you follow that message, and then a green ninja comes down, you're like, what the fuck? I want to fight him. And like after that, the rest is history.
Yeah, but
you just don't have that anymore. You can't have that anymore, because that mystique, thanks to the internet, is just practically non-existent nowadays. And like they've proven themselves to not be focusing on stuff like that anymore to keep people coming back. Mm-hmm. It's now about certain nostalgia things, like you were saying. It's now about the guest characters and which franchises they can pull in.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then sadly the microtransactions and
that stuff too, modern shit that games are doing.
EA decided to do that, and they made obscene amounts of money. So now a lot of companies do that. That might be changing. But like the gaming industry has always tried to find ways of screwing over the customer. I mean, look at arcade games. It's like, oh man, you were so close to being that level.
From the glory days of the arcade.
Just one more quarter, buddy. And then you're down $200. Like
$200.
Mom, I need $10 more. I almost beat Reptile. It's like, no, Johnny, no. No, how much?
It's Johnny Cage. He's a fan.
Why did you name me after Johnny Cage? If you won't let me beat...
Dad, I'm 10. How come you put Cage tattooed on my chest?
We want you to grow into a great cosplayer.
Cosplayer. I was going to say actor / fighter.
No, just cosplayer.
Very elaborate. You're starting now at 10.
It's a little baby Cage.
I mean, that's Cassie. Jackie Briggs, the best character they ever introduced into modern Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, no, there were like some legacy characters that are kind of cool, but like others.
Takeda was pretty dope. I still like him.
Yeah, and then Kung Jin was kind of interesting, but they didn't bring him back for 11. It's like, can't have gays in my game.
Oh boy.
Like, I don't know, like, that was a fun character. Especially with, like, you fucking remember the fucking volley noises every time, like, you got whacked.
I loved that.
It's like...
just that realistic... It was so cool.
It was like... I'm just gonna say it, like... Kung Jin was, like, one of the funnest fighters in that game. Only cool. Because, like, he had great volley noises.
Yeah.
Like, that was good sound design for, like, a lot of his moves had, like, that whacking noise.
Yeah, just that.
Because he's just whacking you with a stick, pretty much.
It was cool.
It's like, fuck, that is cool. I wish more characters had that.
Oh, man. Mortal Kombat's weird. But it's a really cool series. There was a time where I was like, I don't know if I want to play them because now the blood's more gory and I can really see all the details. I don't know if I like that now. And then I just, it's like, who cares?
There's just a lot.
I grew out of
weird...
it fast.
Yeah, there's just like.
Do you remember when I was like that?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to play X.
I don't
whatever.
want to play it. It's like.
No, I don't fucking care. We did it for VidGoals.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Victor and I played it.
It's a fun series, but like I don't know if it's gonna. If I could say a lot of nice things about it right now, sure it looks pretty, but there's only so much a pretty veneer can give you.
Yeah. But,
especially with how the game is ran, it's just like that's. I remember when like games were a lot better than this, and there are games that I probably would play over a Mortal Kombat nowadays.
Yeah,
probably other fighting games too, because there are a lot of good fighting games out there now.
Oh, for sure.
And some that I would just rather play than Mortal Kombat.
Yep, there's a whole sea out there.
There's a whole lot to see out there.
Why fish in one pond when there's a whole sea waiting for you?
Mortal Kombat used to be the biggest fish in the pond, and it probably still wants you to think it is, but it's
just kind of dipped in with the rest. That's what I was saying earlier.
It's dipped in with the rest, and there are probably better fish out there.
I mean, that doesn't mean that it's becoming bad. It's just kind of getting to that point where it's like, what more can you do that really makes it like, this is now the Mortal Kombat you're gonna want to play, like, you know? Because 11 doesn't really like the customizable fucking variations or whatever. That's kind of cool for like a little bit, whatever. But like, what much more can you do to make Mortal Kombat feel like it's the boss again of like just gritty fucking like mature bloody fighting games? Because it's really not anymore.
It's really not.
Doesn't stand out as much anymore as it used to. But what do you guys think? You can let us know in the comments. And if you like this episode of the podcast, you can watch the other 3 that were uploaded before this. And we'll be doing more for sure. So, anything else you want to add real quick?
No, I'm good.
Nah, fam. I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine right here.
Yeah, I mean, let's go play some Mortal Kombat. Just do your stompy thing. No, with your feet. don't knock the mic over. Okay.